Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the 1 Point Safety Show with myself, Scott Hartley, and my glorious co-host, Scouse Andy. How are you, mate? You all right?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. It's finally draft day, baby. Game on.
It's here.
Game
It is
on.
here. Oh, thank
man.
God.
Can't wait to see who we
Honestly.
get. Just no JJ bullshit. Just don't do it. Just don't do it, Adrian Peters. Just don't do it. Don't do it to
me. The memes that are going around, and some people saying, the Bears are taking a quarterback at 9. I'm like, what? Hold on a minute, really? But no, it's all good. It's all good, man. It's all good.
Hey, I'm just waiting for the JJ gas mask to happen. Do you know what I mean? That's what I'm waiting for. Right on draft night, just right in the.
Oh, we found this photo of Caleb Williams. Yeah. Like, hello. Okay.
Yeah, he drops because of it. Yeah, man. You see it, man. You see it.
Exactly. But no, it's all good, man. I'm glad you're all right. I'm glad you're all right. Do you know what? It's so good that it's here. It's finally here. It's draft day. We can't wait. Very, very late one for us. I think it's a 1:30 in the morning start for us. Yeah, so it's an all-nighter. I hope you're off work, Scouse. Are you off work tomorrow?
Oh, yeah. You got to have it off, man. Got to have it off.
Top man. So have I. Top man.
I'm going to try and do the whole lot, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I am too.
Obviously, it's going to be like 5, 6 o'clock in it. You know what I mean? In the morning, by the time I finish.
It is going to be a long time. So
yeah, that's funny because Scott G was talking to me on X, and basically he was saying he's not going to show up tonight, and I was like, fine, that's totally fine. As long as he doesn't, as long as he will take his name off the spin the wheel,
the random wheel generator. Yeah,
he was like, yeah. So that's me. He wasn't going to let me bully him. So easy.
I know he's here. Hi, Brian. Nice to see you. Nice to see everybody in the chat. It's very good of you for all being with us. Hello, David, Yam, Ian, Scott G. Everybody who's in the chat.
100%, bro. 100%. Have you got any supplies in for tonight? Got you, man.
Oh, everything's in.
You see me on Twitter? I was trying to get Red Bull to sponsor us.
you know it. Scouse is a bully, absolutely, Scott. But there you go. We'll start off with our sponsors and our news. Really,
nice.
Start off with this. You're a nice man. I know that. Our sponsors and affiliates. So Dunstable Town FC, we are the sponsor this year of Talk of the Town podcast, which their season's just finished on Tuesday. Shout out to Andy Burrows and the Dunstable Town lads. If you're interested in listening to a bit of non-league football or soccer for our American cousins, you can go ahead and download their podcast. You can find it on all podcast platforms. It's called Talk of the Town podcast. And they're also on YouTube as well. So you've got some highlights on there from Tuesday's game. So go and give it a watch. And Scouse, we're delighted to continue to say that we have Oddballs on with us. They are our podcast sponsor. Oddballs is a testicular cancer charity for men. 50% of all profits that they make on their website go directly to charity. Obviously, they've got to make some money making gear for people. They've kindly sponsored. They're going to do our hats, bobble hats, that sort of thing. We do have a merch and we have a website as well at the moment that Scouse is kindly setting up. On there, you'll be able to go on to the onepointsafetyshow.com. Have a look at that, check it out, and on there are some prices for a few bits.
It'll be fully done by just once you finish your stuff, the info you want to send me. So hopefully by the weekend, maybe start of next week, something like that. We'll have a web page all ready to go, and you can actually buy stuff on there if you so fancied it.
So yeah, buy directly from them. But if anyone wants anything bespoke, merchandise, if they fancy that, by all means, give us an email, a Twitter, whatever it may be.
Yeah, on the website, it's got our contact details as well. So if you haven't got it like on Twitter land, then that's fine as well. You just find us on the website.
Perfect. And hello, Cameron. Shout out to you. Hey, guys, I'm able to stay for the whole pod tonight. It's nice to see you.
Cameron. So, time.
He's always on nights, and he works early. I can't remember which way round it is, but yeah, bless him. Nice to see you in the chat. Appreciate it. So only a little bit of news then, Scouse, this week. So no fifth-year option exercise for Jamin Davis. Not surprising at all. So Commanders have not picked up the fifth-year option for linebacker Jamin Davis. Would have cost us $14.48 million.
Yeah, so I was going to say nearly 15 mil, wasn't it? So yeah, definitely not worth that kind of corn. Not on his production so far. So yeah, let's see what happens this season. But if he balls out, then he deserves a decent contract. But I just can't see it. He's not worth half of that personally. But
We could talk all day about draft, this, that, and the next thing, and what's happened in the week, but really, we're here now. There's no point talking about that at all. The only other thing, and it was a massive thing that happened earlier on today, is Daryl Green, number 28. They've retired his jersey, the ageless wonder. Make sure you've got your Tootsie Rolls in your pockets and in your socks. What an absolute guy.
That's how you retire somebody's number.
Correct.
It was classily done. It was a shock to the player, genuine reaction. Do you know what I mean? And it was, I had his family there on the side that he didn't even probably knew that we were there. I just think it was a really nice way of doing it. That's how you're supposed to do it with these legends, like true legends. I mean, when you play 20 years in the NFL at corner, I mean, that's phenomenal. I don't care whoever that is, just for the longevity of it. Never mind anything else. I mean, this guy was hardly injured as well. He didn't miss a lot of games either. He wasn't like, he missed half the season here and there. Very rarely he was hurt as well. And when he did, he still played hurt. I mean, the guy.
And I'll read you his stats here, or some of his stats here. So he's a two-term Super Bowl champion. He was the NFL Man of the Year in 1996, four-time first-team All-Pro 1986, 87, 1990, 1991. Seven-time Pro Bowler, 84, 86, 87, 90, 91, 96, 97. He was a PFWA All-Rookie Team in 1983. He was the NFL 1990s All-Decade Team, which is unbelievable. NFL 100th Anniversary All-Time Team, one of the 80 greatest Redskins. Washington Commanders Ring of Fame. Obviously, Washington Commanders number 28 retired today, and he won the Bart Starr Award as well in 1997. I mean, if you go back and you look at some of these stats here, I mean, mainly it was the speed more than anything. I mean, I've got his figures up here. I mean, to run 50 meters, he was 5.76 seconds, and that was in Rosemont, Illinois in 1983. 100 meters, 10.8. And that was in San Angelo,
this
Texas.
Guy was the NFL's fastest man.
4 times on the row, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I've got some more.
And he was beating them all. You know what I mean?
I've got some more stats here. I mean, 40-yard dash, 4.09. I mean, wow. Come on now, really?
I mean, you see the one where he took on him? I always remember the one where he's like 40 yards back from Tony Dorsett.
Unbelievable, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, when Dorsett got past you, no one caught him. That's how fast he is. And he ran from 40 yards back and still caught him. It was unbelievable, man. I was just like, man, this guy's unbelievable.
I'll read you. I mean, he has his own records here, so I'll go through him because he deserves it. And we're going to spend a bit of time going through this and talking. But some of these records, when you read it on paper, I mean, granted, it's before my fandom, but obviously I know who he is. Since coming into the fandom, we always look out for legends of the game. And your brother's favorite player.
Mm-hmm.
Unbelievable. So I'll read you his stats here. So most consecutive seasons with an interception, 19. Most seasons with at least one touch reception, rush, and return. He's tied with Jerry Rice for that, 20. Oldest player with more than 35-yard gain, lateral or punt return. He was 42 years, 327 days. He's the oldest player with an interception return for a touchdown down in overtime at 35 years, 249 days. Oldest player with an interception period, 41 years, 304. Oldest player with more than 80 yards interception return at 37 years. Oldest player with non-offensive touchdown in overtime. Oldest NFL defensive back, 42 years old. This guy's still doing it at 42. Yeah. Second oldest player to return an interception for a touchdown when he was 37. Albert Lewis is the oldest at 38. They're his NFL records.
Just think about it isn't just kind of like his stats and his records. It's all about like true world class, or we call world class players, don't we? In soccer, we call world class players who are like the true elite of the elite, and that's what. And Daryl Green was that. I mean, I say it wasn't just about the stats. It was always come up in clutch situations and really pulled it out the bag for us. I mean, I think they mentioned it in the chat, but I mean, everyone knows this one. He knows Daryl Green. The punt return against Chicago. I think
man.
It was in the playoff game. I can't remember if it was the conference game, like the NFC Championship game, or not. We're playing Chicago, and he tore all his rib cartilage, and he didn't really play too much in that game, and he was like, in bits basically with it, and he wouldn't take a shot of injections or anything like that. He wasn't. I'm not one of them guys. So he played, but then what's it called? When we needed him, we got a punt return, and he took it to the house, and he was fucked. His ribs were fucked. Do you know what I mean? And he took it to the house, and we won it because of that. And it's just absolute crucial, just clutch times, and that's where the true elite become the elite. Do you know what I mean?
I'll read you some more, Scouts. Most games played by a defensive player, 295. 4-time NFL fastest man competition winner, only player with multiple times and never lost. Reportedly 40-yard dash time of 4:09, which we've gone through. And then in the Redskins side of it, and let's be honest here, we've got to call it out. He is not a Commanders player. He is a Washington Redskins player. I'm not afraid to say that. He is an absolute legend. And if you want to define a franchise, this is a guy that defines a franchise. This is everything you want to be in a cornerback. The work ethic, the way he went about himself, the things he'd done after he retired, his foundation, everything.
I mean, the longevity alone says it all. I mean, that's 20 years in the NFL, playing that corner. No, we're not playing fucking, inside somewhere or a little bit of slot or maybe going to free safety where it's a little easier. No, he's going up against the fastest dudes going, and he's still keeping up with them. I mean, that's
20 years.
20 years in the NFL. You know what I mean? And he plays.
And he's a one. And as Rod said there in the chat, he's importantly a one-man team. It was a one-team man. Sorry,
you know what I mean? And that's why. I don't think anyone's got a real bad thing to say about him.
No, not at all. And I mean, if you go through his Redskins records here, so on our records books, he's most career interceptions at 54, most game starts 258, and games played 295. Most game starts as a defensive back. Most consecutive seasons at 20, longest fumble return for a touchdown, 78 yards, and most interceptions returned for a touchdown in 6. Yeah, this guy, I mean, he defines what we were about. You know what I mean? Winning them 2 Super Bowls, the Joe Gibbs era, and all of that.
All these steps happened, all these stats and that were at a time when it was mostly a run-first game.
Exactly.
So again, to get those stats when you're not being targeted as often as you would do, say, in today's NFL, it's even more impressive. You know what I mean? So
it's just crazy.
It's crazy. It really is.
Fair play. I mean, the way they did it, the way they put it on, on social media. Oh, we just need you to read these last few lines.
Yeah, I thought it was very classy. I thought it was real.
Yeah, I did too.
Nice touch. You know what I mean? Like you've seen the horror stories from the past few years, the Sean Taylor thing and these other things going on. You're thinking,
Sonny Jurgensen's jersey.
Yeah, you really cannot know how to really look after that kind of legend that you're retiring their number, and then now with the new boys in charge, you just see a whole different level. It's like this is how it's supposed to be. This is how it should have been for Sean T. This is how it should have been for Sonny. It's just It's just an amazing feeling that we've got people who actually know what the hell they're doing and how to respect somebody who's actually done it.
Yes, Deuce in the chat here, Red Zone in the Lab. If you haven't subscribed, go and subscribe to Red Zone in the Lab. Our boy Deuce, he collabs with Scouts during the season on a weekend, normally on game day, isn't it? On Sunday morning, Red Zone in the UK. But yeah, man, shout out to Deuce, great guy, absolutely fantastic bloke to meet in real life. So if you get the chance, get down to the Red Zone lobby.
I mean, look at that. I mean, look at that green beat Carl.
Unreal in it.
Yeah, and I wouldn't put it past him to do that. So, man, I mean, yeah, it's and the thing as well. I mean, Riggo's always going to be remembered for.
Yeah, of course he is.
The touchdown against Miami. But don't forget, Riggo wasn't an amazing running back before he came to us, and he was on his way out. He was early 30s, 32, something like that when we first signed him. He wasn't a oh my god, this guy's like, the unbelievable elite running back. But he did a good job for us, and obviously he came up with some real huge plays at times, and that's why people love him. It's iconic moments, and that's what elite players do. That's what they bring to the table.
Do you know what I really loved today about it? There's not the fact that his family were there was fantastic, and taking everything in. But it's the fact that when he walked around the corner and he was totally emotional. Dan Quinn, Mitch Rales there, and then everybody was in 28. You had Josh Harris on the phone with him, but you had everyone in 28 jerseys. And then you look at that wall. Look at that wall at the back, and you can see the Redskins logo sitting proud. I mean, they are not afraid as a franchise to look back at what we've done in our past and to say, we're not ashamed of this, this symbol. We're not ashamed of what we were. And I think that's changed, having true fans owning this team now. Because Josh Harris and Mitch Rales are fans of this team. Having them grow up, see the likes of Darrell Green, Riggo, Doug Williams is Super Bowl, all these sort of legend players, Mark Mosley's, all these players that have been there, done it, seen it, RFK bouncing. They know what it's like to be a Redskins fan. And I know Commanders is our name. I get that. I know football team was our name for a season, but in the interim. But we all got brought here because we were all Redskins fans at one point or another. I was, you were, we're all in here because of that reason. Whether you,
I'd love it to come back. Or at least the very least, the emblem.
I'm with you. I'm totally with you. But to see it on the wall and that they're proud to do this for a legend, it's like, you know what? I like the way that this organization is going. I really do. Last bit of news, Scouse, and congratulations again to Darrell Green, 28. I'd love to be there. I mean, I don't believe it will be the first game of the season, but if it is the home opener, that would be amazing. But hey, you know what I mean? We can only dream. We can only dream. If not, we'll see what we can get with a flight out there. Yam, mate, if it didn't give you a tear in your eye when you watched that video, you aren't a true.
I even messaged Jason direct, but he didn't reply. But
did you?
I said it was really, really nicely done how it was, because he was there. Wasn't he? Passing that video, he was there.
He was there. Yeah. He was there.
And so it was kind of like, really nicely done. Those type things. And I said, put a tear in people's eyes, stuff like that. He didn't reply, but that's fair enough. You may be a busy guy, but yeah, I mean, as I say, I just thought it was really, really classy how they did it. So
did I, mate. So did I. Well, the only other thing I suppose is we've changed our hashtag. Raise Hail. I mean, I quite like it. I don't mind it. I think
it's a grower. Definitely a grower, because you got the hail in there. So
yeah,
I think.
And it's like a pun on raising hell, isn't it? Let's be honest.
Yeah, exactly.
I understand that.
HTCC anyway, put that way. So
yeah. But
very bland.
I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. Well, without further ado, thank you for tuning in, and thank you to everybody who liked, subscribed, and put a comment on our last video. Mate, honestly, it has gone through the roof. I cannot thank you all enough. If you put a comment on, you are on the wheel of names. I will draw up the wheel of names now to win a bobble hat, burgundy bobble hat with our merch on, or a snapback. And you have one opportunity. If it's the same person twice, it's the same person twice, Scouts. That's how the wheel goes. We're not going to take anyone off. It's completely free. Completely free postage to everybody, no matter whether you're stateside, whether you're in Japan, whether you're in Canada, whether you're in Europe or you're in the UK. We're going to do this now because, look, without further ado, let's do it, Scouts. Let's just get it and let's see who's won. So we'll add this to the stage, hopefully.
It's a little bit small, guys.
It's a little bit small, but we'll let people know and we'll give it a spin. And this one, what do you want to do first? Should we do the snapback first, or should we do the bobble hat?
Let's do the snapback.
Snapback first. Okay, so the winner, who doesn't like a snapback? The winner of the 1 Point Safety Show Burgundy Snapback is. Who's it going to be?
So red looks red.
Oh, it's Ian.
Really?
Yeah, Ian Lockhart.
Oh, no way, man.
Well done. It's not rigged. It's completely random. I promise you. Congratulations, Ian Lockhart. Well done, my man. I will get that out to you. I'll get it out to you this weekend.
That just looks like absolute.
It looks. Yeah, it does. It does. I'll be honest with you. It really does. I thought it was Yam there for a second. So then we'll do the final one. We'll do the final one for a bobble hat for the beanie. The beanie. Who's going to win the beanie? Let's go. Spin.
I'm going to say Rod is going to win it.
It's only Tony Shivers. Yes.
Tony Shivers.
Well done, Tony Shivers, my guy. Congratulations to Tony. Congratulations to Ian. You've both won them, and I promise you I will get them out to you as soon as I possibly can. Well done. Well done, both of you. Scott G is kicking off in the chat.
So
he's saying it's rigged, it's rigged, it's rigged. No, it isn't rigged. Tony, we're with us in the chat. Well done, my man. you've just won yourself a 1 Point Safety Show beanie for the winter. So congratulations and congratulations. If anyone else obviously wants one, by all means, let us know. We'll get them out. We'll get them out. Ways to link to go and have a look at them. And if you want any merchandise that's personalised or slightly different to you, let us know, and we'll go from there. But yeah, that's it for the merch anyway. There for that one. I will stop sharing my screen now, and then we'll get back into it. Scouse, the only thing I've only ever seen my name. Scouse bullied me. You were on there. I promise you were on the wheel. I swear to you. I didn't take you off the wheel, Scott. I promise you were on there. We've got our fan questions. So should we get through our fan questions, mate? And then we'll get out of here. As Deuce said, are you guys up? Yes, we are up early. I'll get you on, Rod. We'll sort you out. Don't you worry about that, mate. We'll get things done. But yeah, we'll do these fan questions.
Probably, yeah. I think
we'll go into that.
Going to jump into any chats during the draft. Yeah, we probably will jump with some chats, and
yeah, I think we will. And
maybe on the bleeding, might be on the
Bleeding Burgundy podcast early on. So yeah, this will be interesting.
Yeah, at least
the thing is, you like you were saying before we started pressing record there, Scouts. You don't want to get on too early because the US has obviously got the live broadcast, and we are always probably 10 seconds behind, maybe a minute behind.
Yeah.
And it's like,
I'm
on there.
And the world, doesn't it?
I did that. I did this last year with them, and I was live with them, and they were like, "Oh, it's Emmanuel Forbes," and I was like, "He hasn't even picked it yet." Like what? so I was like, "No, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that again. I want to settle in, and I want to make sure it's on from there."
I agree, Scott. It is pants, mate. It is Scott. It really is pants.
I know. So our first question then is from Scott G, who's in the chat. Scott G is at 20GDog. That's if he says, I know I'm early, but off topic for tomorrow. What's on your draft party menu? Especially important to you UK guys, as you need to get. Oh no, that was last week. I apologise. Didn't delete his one off. So Rod Morrison was our first question because he got it in like a couple of days ago. He said, "Morning guys, is draft day, so at least we get to take our QB at 2. I feel we'll trade back up into the first round to get an OT. Who out of the Vikings, Raiders, or Bucks provides the best option for us, and what tackle will we go for?"
Well, being honest, I don't think Minnesota are going to get rid of their firsts for what we're looking for as such, because they're looking for quarterbacks, so they're going to try and go up themselves and use those 2 firsts to go higher up in the draft. So they're ruled out for us, I think, coming back in later on in the rounds. The Raiders exactly the same boat. They need a quarterback. They're about 13.
Yeah, desperately.
No chance they're moving down. They're probably going to go. I genuinely believe JJ McCarthy goes there at 13. That's where I genuinely believe he's going to go. And so that leaves us with the Bucks. And I think that is a possibility because they've got a lot of holes. But they also need a tackle as well. So they've got one good tackle, but need another one. So it just depends. But I think out of those 3, it's going to be the Bucks that have got the best chance of us getting in there. And what would it take to get us there? Probably both our seconds and maybe like a 4th or something like that to try and get us back in there. Or maybe something for next year if you don't want to get rid of that 4th this year. Well, I've got a 4th, but I'm talking the end of the 3rd. That's what I mean, like that one. Yeah, let's pick 100. What was the other thing you mentioned there? Who would you go for? Well,
yeah, who would you go for?
What are the Bucks? Are they 17? Are the Bucks? I can't remember.
No, 17's Jags. I think Jags are 17.
I believe so. Bucks are Bucks
20. They're in the 20s. I think like 23rd, something like that.
26. Yeah, 26. Okay, so it's quite low down. I mean, for me, around the 20, around 26, you're probably looking at Morgan or something like that, or maybe
you're not.
Maybe
Guyton or Morgan, I think, are probably the only 2 tackles that should probably be thereabouts. I mean, we've got a similar question from David, who's in our chat now.
I really want Fuaga or Fatanu. They're the guys I really want. If they can't get me Joe Alt, which is understandable, we won't be able to get him. They'll be next 2 off the board, but
Fatanu's been told that they reckon that he's going to dip inside and become a guard.
Nah, mate, this guy is nasty, bro. He is going to be a tackle. I mean, I've heard rumors about him that Seattle want him, and they're going to try and put him at left guard. That's what the plan is if he's there available at their pick, and I think they're about 15 or something like that. Seattle, aren't they?
16th,
16,
I think,
16.
thereabouts.
Yeah. So we'll have to see about that. But for me, I still think he's a tackle. I mean, a right tackle, not a left tackle, but I still think he's a tackle. So I'll be surprised if you're going to go that high for a guard. I know we did it with Scherf, but most people don't normally go that high for a guard.
I mean, it's difficult, isn't it, when you look into it? I mean, David's put one in here as well, very similar. He said, obviously, right, lads, everything's everyone's in early today, so I'll get in. He said, what would you be willing to give up to trade back into the first, and who is your ideal, realistic guy to trade? For me, I think Marius Mims. I don't think he's got the.
Do you think he'll be able 26 though? Do you think he'll be able 26?
No. That's what I'm saying here. So David said here, what will you be willing to give up to trade back into the first round? He hasn't said where.
Oh, right.
For me, I think you're looking at the Saints. I reckon you're looking at the mid first round. You know, I'm looking to 16
in the teens.
Range.
I'm looking in the teens. Yeah. I'm looking at the Rams at 19.
Good shout.
They don't have first rounders ever, so they would love to get more picks. They really would, and I think they'd be quite happy if they can get a decent haul at 19. And that'll beat out all these teams in the 20s who need offensive line. I mean, Dallas need tackles. We stole the center. You know, there's things happening here. So Dallas need a few guys on the O line. And also, we mentioned before, Tampa needs a tackle as well. I mean, there's quite a few teams in the 20s who need a tackle.
Yeah, I know, and that's why I think we're going. That's why I think we're going to struggle. So I'm looking here. If we go into the mid,
that's why Rams are probably the best place for us, really.
If you go into the mid-teens, the Rams, you're looking at 875 points on the old trade chart for that. For the Cincinnati Bengals at 18, you're looking at 900. Pittsburgh at 20, you're looking at 850. They may trade. Miami 800 at 21. I think you're probably too far back. I think you're probably looking anywhere between 16 to 19 is kind of where you are. So 875 is what you kind of required as a minimum for LA. But bearing in mind, you're trying to trade back in. Washington's 36th pick is worth 540. Our second pick at 40 is worth 500. Now, I think realistically, you would go 36, which is giving you 540. I think you would also go 7. I think you would also go 78 for 200. So that would give you 740 points. And then I think you probably trade in a second next year as well. So 2 seconds and a third.
You've got to make it tangible for these guys. I mean, if you're looking at it from a point or an objective perspective like that, you're going to go, well, it's worth 875, but you're giving me about 900, maybe 1,000. No. I want a lot more than that. Do you know what I mean? If you're going to be
they're going to do that. Yeah, they're going to do that.
I want both your seconds, and I want maybe a third next year. That's what I want. So it just depends who wants to play ball and who's realistic and who's not. But yeah, I mean, for Ian saying there for 26 should be a first, a second, and a third rounder. But I mean, I think that's high. I think that's high. I think that's
way too much.
Especially for 26. I mean, I'd be probably wouldn't even pay that for 19, to be honest.
No, I wouldn't pay that.
Harsh. What's David saying? Vikings could use those first to get my boy JJ. Now, the thing is, I say Vikings have already got number 11. So I said before that JJ might go at 13 to the Raiders. So Minnesota technically wouldn't need to go up.
But why would you make that process? Why would you make that move to get 23 or you've already got 11? I don't understand that logic unless you were hoping to get into the top. Yeah, unless you were hoping to get into the top 4 or 5.
You know where I can see them? You know what I can see what Vikings trying to do? Get the Giants at 6. That's what I could see and offer them those 2 first rounders. And I think that's where the trade could happen because the Giants, they would love a Drake May. I mean, they've mentioned about that, but he's never going to be there at 6. It just isn't happening. And there's no way they're going to go up in the draft to try and get him. So no one's going to fall. I mean, McCarthy would be there at 6. But to be fair, if you take those 2 first rounders from the Vikings, you're going to get 11. So again, okay, JJ is gone, but Michael Penix is there.
Yeah. Bo Nix is still
Bo
there.
Nix, you really want to go that a bit high for Bo Nix personally, but again, if that's an option, and you still got another first rounder that you can sort out your wide receiver for, because that's what they're saying. Because what the Giants fans are saying that I've read and what I've listened to is that they're saying at 6 they want a quarterback or a wide receiver, like a top wide receiver. So
yeah,
if they do drop down, i.e., someone like Minnesota offers them 2 firsts and whatever, they're going to 11 and 20, 23. You said 23. You still get a top wide receiver. 23. Okay, it might not be the 2 or 3 elite guys, but you're still going to get.
So do you think at 11 would you get JJ McCarthy at 11?
It depends if Minnesota. I mean, it depends if Minnesota desperately wants him or not. I think, or the Giants, because they're the main 2 teams. Because Giants at 6, and then obviously you've got
us,
Minnesota at
New
11.
England. But we don't know what New England's. We don't know what New England's going to do.
New England's going to will pick either JD or May, the guy we don't pick. No, the guy we don't pick. That's the guy that they're going to pick. It's pretty obvious. It was a bit like last year, wasn't it, with Forbes? We knew as soon as we picked Forbes, Gonzalez was going there. And that's exactly what happened. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting, but I definitely think Minnesota's going to try to do some moves. They really are.
So Rod's saying here, is there a possibility 4 QBs could go in the first 10? Yeah, I think so.
There is a possibility. I mean,
which in a way that's good for the tackles, because this wide receiver class is so loaded. You got 3 wide receivers who are definitely top 15, and then you've also got Joe Alt in there as well, who's the unbelievable left tackle, who might drop ever so slightly, which probably to the Titans at 7.
To be fair.
But you got to think, you got rid of your wide receiver at the Chargers, so you're going to take a Dunze, or you're going to take is it Thomas? Not Thomas from LSU, the other one from LSU. Malik Neighbors. That's who it was.
Neighbors.
You're going to take Thomas. Yeah, Thomas will be in the first round, but he's more towards the bottom end of the first round. And don't be surprised if you've got like people like Xavier Worthy as well. You know, the guy who run an amazing combine. He will probably go the bottom end of the first round. The Chiefs just screams at me. There's your Tyreek Hill replacement.
The receivers are stacked, especially the first rounders. Like, there's Worthy probably wasn't even going to be talked about until he ran that combine.
If you think about it, there you look at who they're taking. That to me screams Kansas City. That says to me, hey, here's your Tyreek Hill replacement.
And to be fair, I mean, I've seen him drafted before to Kansas at 32. I've seen that, so I can definitely see that happening, because he's the Tyreek Hill replacement.
So if we trade back up into the first round, then going back to David and Rod's question. Who is your overall tackle that you really want to look at?
A realistic tackle.
No, I'm not saying realistic, because I think Fuaga and Fatanu are both gone. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah,
Ashanu might still be around, which is absolutely. It's mental that he may still be there.
It's because he's raw. That's the problem. He's got It looks like he's got the traits, but he's raw. And that's why he might drop to the teens.
From Penn State.
He's raw, mate. He's played like 1.5 years max. I mean, that's not a lot, really.
The one who's raw, the one who's really raw, and the one I really like is Amaris Mims. But it's such a small sample size.
Yeah,
it's such a small sample size. But if you think of the size of him, the natural size of him, the vertical jump, he's got 10% body fat, 340 pounds. He jumped a higher vertical jump than Joe Alt. He had a higher broad jump than Joe Alt, and he ran faster than Joe Alt. But he's only got 8 games. Got 8 games for Georgia.
You don't really know what you're getting, and this is why it's, especially when looking at first rounders, you expect these guys to be instant impact players. First rounders, that's what you're expecting. That's why you're going up. That's why you mentions here Scott. JD available 3 New England Series. I picked the wrong one there. Here we go. I'm trading up. Go big or go home. Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's hard.
Would you give up a first round next year?
It depends how much you love a tackle that's available at the number that you're going to try and get. I mean, as I say, it's got to be for a tackle. No other reason for me, in my mind, you would go up by back into the middle of the first or something like that, where you've got to put crazy assets in to get there, to then go, oh, I'm going to pick a linebacker. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Like, look,
yeah, I know.
Okay, corner, but you wouldn't do that for corner either. Even though it's a premier position. But the thing is, it's got to be for one of the top tackles. You can't, and normally it's got to be for your left tackle if you're picking a right-handed quarterback. So it has to be for a left tackle, a genuine left tackle. None of these guys that are, he played kind of tackle a bit, and he's probably going to get pushed inside, but he might be able to do it on the outside. No, that's shit. We don't want that. We want this guy is proven. He knows what he's doing. And with better coaching, he's going to become elite. That's what I want to see. That's the kind of guy I want to see coming in. So, even that going 15, 16, getting a right tackle, I think that's high for a right tackle. If you're doing that for a left tackle, you're going to play this guy left and think he's got what it takes. Okay, I can live with that. You know what I mean?
So, if you're going to go big, as Scott says, most of these tackles are projected as guards. If you want a tackle, go big. A lot of right tackles and a lot of guards. I totally understand that. But if you want a pure left tackle going up, then you have to try and, you probably go in first and second next year and a second round this year and a third. So pick 100.
Is what's the draft like next year? Now, obviously, we don't know because I've not looked into next draft's availability, who's going to come out and whatever. But I'm sure some of the scouts are probably already doing that already. Let's face it. So, is there an amazing tackle you think is going to be there? Realistically, where we think we're projected to probably finish in the season. Now, again, it's all projections. Of course, we could be a lot better than what we think we're going to be, or we could be a hell of a lot worse. But that's
even if you had
going 2 years down the line, not just doing that. What's available now.
Even if you had a pick in, say, you had 20th pick or the 18th pick, that would be okay, I think, for most of them. 12 of the past 24 Super Bowls were won by a quarterback taken in the first round, so it's 50-50. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
you're
but think about that. Yeah, that's a good stat. But you think about it, though, 12 quarterbacks have come out in the first round. Now, there's another six rounds there that are not including the first, and you've only got 12 quarterbacks coming from the next 6 rounds. You see what I mean? So this is why you have to get your guy in the first round. Yeah. It's very rare you can get yourself a superstar in the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth rounds. Yes, there is outliers. Yes, you can throw a Tom Brady at me. You can throw a, if you want to speak about the Eagles douchebag over there, no, these guys. No, yeah, you can pick these guys, but let's face it, they're the exceptions to the rule. Yam just mentioned the stats there. You get 32 players in one round in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got the next 6 rounds of what? 200 people?
Yeah, yeah. 256, isn't it? I think.
Yeah, 200 something, 220, something like that. And that's the difference. It's so difficult to get a guy. Think 49ers lucked out. They blew 3 first rounders on Trey Lance, thinking he was going to be the real deal. Then he was absolutely shit. And they got lucky with it. We'll just take a flyer on Purdy and see how it goes. And they end up being a quality quarterback and perfect for their system. Just got pure luck. That's luck when you get to the 7th round. You get into those late rounds. That's pure luck if someone ends up being top draw. It really is. I don't care how good your scouting is. That's just luck. You're picking somebody 200 places down the road. You know what I mean? It's luck of the draw down there, man.
It's so hard, and it's a crapshoot. We know that. And Rod's right here. Look at the recent QBs in the first round, flat to deceive. Who was the guy that went to where did he go to? He went to the Cardinals and then to the Dolphins, and now he's not even in football anymore. Josh Rosen. Remember the hype around him?
He went 10, didn't he, that year?
Yeah. And then you go, okay, Mitch Trubisky. Oh, my God, there's so many. Sam Bradford.
Who? Sam Bradford? Decent?
No, come on now.
Sam Bradford was decent. He just injury prone. That was his problem, Sam Bradford. And he was.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but he was decent. Quarterback.
Johnny Football.
He's dog shit.
Yeah.
There is some real deal guys and there's some dog shit guys. It's like Ryan Leaf. You go back to the world.
Ryan Leaf, yeah.
James, what's his name? Not Jameis Winston.
Jamarcus Russell. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you can go back to all these horrible busts who went first and second and all that. But
Zach Wilson, exactly. Ian, not
Zach
wrong.
Wilson, Zach Wilson, awful. But the thing is that he wasn't meant to be anywhere near number 2. I mean, think about it. When that season started, that last year of his season started, he wasn't even talked about in the first 3 rounds. He did okay in college, but then he had an amazing combine, and there was nobody else in the quarterback room who was actually any good. And he thought, oh my God, this guy can throw 80 yards. Oh my God, this guy's new Mahomes. And he got shot right at the boards.
I know, it's crazy.
And who's that reminding you of a bit of? Okay, maybe not to 2, but JJ McCarthy, another one, yeah. See what I mean? So, I'm not
Jaden Daniels.
Jaden Daniels, one good season. I mean, I'm just not. I mean, I'm a May guy. I want the prototypical quarterback. That's what I want. But we've not had one of those. We've not had an Andrew Luck statue, like kind of guy there, like who can do what he could do. And I'm not saying he's Andrew Luck, by the way, but I'm just saying that kind of build, but also faster than him on the run. And if you get his footwork right, I think he could be a superstar. I really do. And JD, I just get worried about his frame. I'll say it all the time, man. I mean, he's going to get smoked. He's going to get he's going to think he's going to be like Michael Vick. Did you see his thing more recently, yesterday or the day before? Oh, yeah. I've seen Vick. I've seen Lamar. Yeah, I'm coming in here. I'm trying to beat those guys on the ground. Okay, well, that means you're going to be reckless with the ball then, because half the time they're reckless with the ball when they're running it. It's only this last season that you saw Lamar not be as reckless. But look, all the other seasons beforehand, injured every season, injured. Vic, injury prone. These guys get hurt, and Vic obviously played in a much heavier time where defenders could actually hit you. I just think like Daniel's just going to get popped by somebody in the first game, and he's going to run off and go, "I'm a pocket passer. I'm a pocket passer." You know what I mean? Honestly, that's what you'll find. You'll get popped by some like absolute big grok, and that would be the end of him. He'd shit himself, and he'd be like, "Nah, I'm not running out here anymore. I'm not running. I'm not beating the Lamars. I'm just going to try and pass it because he can throw it in the pocket. He's proven he can do it. He's good. He's to be accurate. It's just.
I just think that people. We just have to trust it now, and no matter what happens now, we know at number 2 overall, our franchise has changed, and hopefully it's changed for the better. I just do not want to be sitting here in a year's time going, all right, Scouts, who are we taking in the top 5? Are we going to trade up for the first pick overall? It's going to piss me off.
We don't want any more of that.
Anywhere near
we don't
more.
We don't want to be up here ever again. No, taking 2.
I don't want any more quarterback dramas. I want 10 years solid of a quarterback that we know, actually, this kid is pretty cool. Do you know what I mean? He's pretty good.
Who? Are you on about there, Rod?
He's on about Drake. He's on about Drake.
Why? Because he's and whatever it is, but Carolina's team. Yeah, is that what you're on about? Because don't forget, he had a footwork problem as well. How?
Well, that's what he's saying here. Drake May's got footwork and inconsistencies in his issue. Is his issues. Yeah, I think that can be coached though. I'm not saying I'm a Drake May guy. I'm still 60-40 either.
Deluxe knows the script.
I never got on the Sam Bradford hype train, and I'll be honest with you. But there you go. Our next question then, or from fan submissions, Jesse.
Sorry to interrupt you, mate.
Yeah,
just to finish this one off with Rod. You look at Drake and his issues of footwork and inconsistency. Yeah, I mean, inconsistency, especially a short game. I'd say that. But again, that's down to his footwork. And the thing is, those things are coachable. Those things, they're not like big time faults of like, oh my God, this guy, he's screwed. He can never improve. I mean, this guy, he's got all the skill set. He's got a ridiculous arm. And it's just about getting them more accurate. And that will to do with his footwork, definitely. And I say that can be coached. I mean, look at the coaches we've got now as well. This isn't no, dodgy quarterbacks coach. We're talking real deal guys here now. We're talking real deal all-star team coaches who know how to coach people. So all I can see is me just going up and up and up and up. As long as you don't kill him with his confidence early, I think he'll be fine. I really do.
I hope so, mate. I really do. Yeah, Jesse, he is at Jesse's24, host of the Bleeding Burgundy podcast. If you haven't, we'll be on there later. He said, "Can someone make sure Scouse has his blood pressure medication in case they choose JJ at 2?"
Yeah, thanks for the reminder. Thanks for the reminder there. But yeah, I mean, it ain't gonna happen. I don't care what anyone says. I don't care what anyone says. You can wind me up all day about it, all like the last month, whatever. It ain't gonna happen. I am totally chilled because it's just not happening. End of.
Next one then, Richard Cameron. He is at Mr. Rich Cameron. He says, with draft speculation now entering overload, how many of our picks do you think will become week 1 starters? Great shout.
How many of our picks? Okay. Well, the expectations for me are probably 4.
Yeah.
Because you want your first rounder, obviously, you want your 2 second rounders, and you want at least one of those third rounders to be actual starters. Yeah. Better if you can get all your 3 starters, all your third rounders, starters, but doesn't always work that way. But I definitely think you got to expect at least 4 genuine starters from this draft class.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going for. And again, it depends on the type of player you get. I mean, Cam Hart, if we pick Cam Hart, I've seen that in a lot of mock drafts. He's obviously been here on a top 30 visit. He would probably be a day 1 starter, a longer corner, taller corner, faster.
Interesting.
I truly believe that.
I mean, he's going to go 4, isn't he? He's probably going to go 4th round, 5th round. I've seen him.
What people are saying, yeah, but that's mock draft simulators. I've seen people saying, no, he's going in at 100. I've even seen people put him at 78. Yeah. Because he's going up and up draft boards as we speak. The other one, yeah, I'd say your first rounder, absolutely first rounder. Your second rounders, you want them to be immediate starters, and you're right, Scout's probably one of them third rounders you want to start immediately. You just got to try and hit on this draft class as best you can. A shout out to Kyle, who's in the chat with us. Oi, yeah, as Kyle would say. Nice to see you. Shout out to the Burgundy Zone. If you haven't subscribed or gone and watched them, go and subscribe and watch the Burgundy Zone. So I agree. I think that 4 is the right number. I think you want to be getting 4 starters day 1.
Sure. I think at least 4. I mean, even anything more than that's a bonus. I'm it sounds kind of arsehole-ish, but if Jaden starts to slide out the top 5, I'll laugh my ass off, and that's a lot of laughing. I mean, I'd be the same as well, to be fair, because everyone's obviously jizzing over this guy, and I mean, yeah, he's good. He's got talent, sure, but is he that good? Yeah, I don't know. But
Kyle's on there. They're saying now that show sucks. It doesn't suck, Kyle, and you know it. We learn from the best. We learn from the best. So there you go.
I don't think this one here, Yam. May is the best pure passer in the draft. I don't think he is. I do like May. I think it's Penix.
Yeah, I do too.
Penix is the best pure passer in the draft. Is Penix, but it looks weird because it's a left-hander, and you know what I mean. It looks weird coming out of his arm, but out of his hand. But he's always accurate, man. He is so smooth with it.
I agree, but also weirdly enough, from the short and intermediate stuff, JJ McCarthy's got a laser. I'm not going to deny it. He can put that ball into some spots that you're like, how the hell did he do that?
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, all these quarterbacks in the first round have got talent. No.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
No one's denying these guys, But no one's denying that Jay hasn't got any talent. Sure, he's talented, but he's not like the elite guys of these others. He doesn't have an elite trait, in my mind. And also, what you got to think about is JJ, because he's only ever lost 1 game in his career, right? So you think, he's a winner, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I get that. Okay. But the thing is, what you got to think about is he's coming here, or say you come here, for example, he's coming to a bum team. Let's face it. If he's going to go in the top 5 or top 6 or whatever, top 8, wherever people think he's going to go to a reasonably bad team. We were not going to be winning very easily. You don't have the star-studded team around him like he's been used to. So can he handle the pressure of that? One, putting the team on his back. Can he handle when the fans go against him? Because he's never had that. And imagine walking around Washington and we're getting beat all the time. You'll get destroyed by fans. True. You've got to have that true laser focused mentality, and it takes a special person to be able to do that. And for me, McCarthy's never done it because he's never had to do it because he's been, he's been the golden child of Michigan. Do you know what I mean? So when he walks around town, everyone's all over him, autographs all the time. No one's giving him any grief because he always wins. So he's not going to do that. He's not going to walk into the NFL and start bringing off unbeaten seasons. Do you know what I mean? This ain't going to happen. So how does he respond to that? And that's one of the biggest question marks for me about him. And that's why I don't like him at 2. I really don't.
Shout out Andy Burrows in the chat. The Bridge UK royalty in here with us. Shout out. Yeah, I get that. And also David says, leave us lefties alone. Agreed, David. Leave us lefties alone.
I give the best compliment you get, mate.
I
give the best compliment ever. Penix is the best pure passer in this draft. And he's left-handed. So
it's true. Yep. So I'm just going to have a quick look at what other questions we've got.
You're looking to expand the muscle development of thinner framed athletes.
There you go. Yeah. There you go. Great question, Kyle. Let's get that question out.
I mean, let's face it, man. I mean, if he's, some people who've got the genetics will just be able to build muscle so easily and look like absolute tanks. You know, looking at the receiver at Seattle with DK Metcalf and guys like that, absolute animals, right? But then you also got these guys who are very, very ectomorphs. You know, and JD's an ectomorph. He's very slim. He doesn't really have that kind of. I reckon. I'm not saying this guy misses the gym. Of course, he doesn't. He probably works out every day. But the thing is, he just doesn't build muscle. You know, he's put on 10 pounds for the his pro day, and that was water. You can see on his belly. It's looks like mine. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, there's no athletics.
Me and you.
There. It's just put some water on or eat some crap food. And that's why he's put that bit of belly on for a little bit, because that's going to come off him in the next couple of days. He is going to struggle to put weight on, barring being
think about the heat of training
steroids. You know,
think about the heat of training camp, and then as well, you're going to lose weight.
Yeah, he's going to be out probably 190, 180 probably by the time he finishes training camp.
It's a lot of weight to shift.
He's very slim. He's got no fat on him normally. You know what I mean, it's like. It's so difficult for these guys to build real muscle. And, you know, of course, you know, we've got good trainers and, you know, and they probably will put a little bit on, but you can't go, you know, like you can say with like a linebacker, you go, no, look at Kerrigan.
You can put 20 pounds on your brain.
Put 20 pounds of muscle on you, no problem. But they've got the builds for that. They can handle putting that on, but doing the right workouts and eating the right ways they want.
How many pounds in a stone? 12, isn't it? Or is it
14 pounds to a stone.
14 pounds in a stone.
Yeah.
So I was, 30? Yeah, so I was 45 pounds heavier when I was playing rugby than I am now. So my frame will take it, and I'm 5'7", but I'm broader than a lot of people are. So
you can have a wide build to be able to handle things.
And it's hard,
And that's like an endomorph, really.
It is an endomorph.
To a mesomorph,
body type-wise, yeah.
But body, that's what I'm saying. But like Jaden Daniels is an ectomorph. That's just how he's built. He's built like stick thin. You know, Forbes is the same. He's built stick thin. They're obviously strong in a way, but you just don't have really big muscles because their bodies.
Do you know what? He's in the chat with us, Scouse. I'm sorry to cut you off there. He's in the chat with us, but he is right. Andy Burrows says, "I put muscle on today, then headed to track 2 and lost a few pounds."
I don't think
he is the Jaden Daniels build. Burrows is defo Jaden Daniels build, and he can eat like a horse, drink as much alcohol as you want, and don't put a bean of muscle on. I look at a pie, and look, I've put on 2 stone. It's ridiculous. It's
exactly what you're saying about Forbes. And look what happened to Forbes. He was god awful in his first season. Now I'm hoping he'll be better this year with better coaching. But at the moment, the things are out on him. The jury's out.
Geez, the thing with Forbes is, I mean, honestly, I've seen Kenyan runners with thicker legs than Forbes.
Did you see that photograph of Forbes?
Photo with his phone. His phone was bigger than his thigh.
His mobile was bigger than his thigh. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, it's madness.
It is crazy.
So I mean, it depends what does 20 pounds do to his athleticism? Now, it depends. It might slow him down. It might actually slow down his speed. You know, you'd be heavier. His body's not used to it. So it might actually slow him down. However, you'd be able to take hits better. Be able to take that impact better, which means that he won't get hurt as much. Well, that's the rationale behind it. It doesn't mean it always works that way, but because big FD guys get injured as well, you know. So it's not an exact science, but you just want to limit the risks, and I think that's the key: is limiting the risks of all these things.
So we'll finish it off. Scouts, we've got
5 years of a rookie quarterback's first round quarterback's contract. You got to make sure you pick right, man, because if you get another RG3 and he's done after 1 year because he's injured, he's done his knee and he's out forever, and he come back, he's not the same. But then you set your team back 5 years, then you're going to lose all your good players because you won't be able to keep them all. So it's so important to get the quarterback right, and for me, I'd rather reduce the risks. And that's why I want the prototypical quarterback size. That's why I want to go for Drake May.
Last question. Well, we've got two more. Last question from Scott G. He says, do you have a mid to late round quarterback who in 3 years everyone will be saying should have been the top QB picked in the draft if it was redone?
Interesting question.
Anyone outside Penix or Joe Milton? That's it, really.
Joe Milton. He's just pure prospect, isn't he? He's got nothing much about him besides a big deep ball. That's probably not even accurate. For me, Jordan Travis. Jordan Travis, I think he'd be a really good shout. I think you probably get him in the second or third. I mean, this year just gone. He got injured quite early on, missed the whole season. But they were actually a good side at Florida State University, FSU. So he was there, and they were actually had a good team going. They might have done really well. They were doing really well, and then obviously they fell apart when he got hurt, Travis. But I reckon he could be the guy in 2-3 years. You think, damn, we should have picked him.
I honestly think though, outside, I think these rated top four, even the fifth, if you include in Bo Nix in there, I think they'll all be. I think they'll all have a really good, decent career. I think they'll all have a very good career. I think McCarthy's going to have a good career. Daniels is going to have a good career. May's going to have a good career. Williams is going to have a great career.
These guys should have a good career. That's the key word there. Should or will. And you can't, obviously, the jury's out.
Guarantee anything. You can't guarantee anything.
It's going to be 2 or 3 years down the line before you start thinking, well, is this guy's the real deal or this guy absolute shite? And it's, I say the answer will come to us in a couple of years' time. But it's hard, man, because even as Jan mentioned before about the 12 out of 24 quarterbacks were first rounders who won the Super Bowl. It's like,
yeah, I mean,
so many first round busts as well. So
that's it.
I think genuinely 6 quarterbacks are going to go in the first round.
Yeah, I do too.
And 4 of them probably in the top 10, top 11, something like that.
Yeah.
That's how it's going to be. But because this year's a really good class of quarterback. If Penix came out when it was, what's his name you mentioned before, one of the busts, Trubisky,
Zach Wilson,
Zach Wilsons and the Trubisky's, he'd have been number one right off the board. Without a doubt, he'd be number one quarterback coming out. But at the moment, he's rated like 6 or something like that. I mean, that's how good these other quarterbacks are.
So Deluxe who's in our chat now. He will be our last question. He says, how do you think this regime has handled the pre-draft process? I'll let you start with that one, Scouse.
I think I've done a great job. I really do. Don't be wrong. It's maddening for fans because we don't know shit. We're just going, it's going to be May. It's going to be JD. And the problem is it has caused a bit of a divide with some fan base at the moment. And there has been some racial connotations to it as well, which I think is a bit naughty, really. Because at the end of the day, we're all on the same team here. We're all trying to win games. You know what I mean? We're all part of the same fandom. So, we should never bring race into it, to be honest. And, but from a Peter's point of view, I think they've done a great job because we don't know anything. Even like people like Kime are guessing. And he never guesses. He's always truthful. So someone's either told him something, but that doesn't mean it's right. Peters could have just give a little to somebody and see if it goes. Plant a seed and send it somewhere else. You know what I mean? Just like he was mentioning about JJ a while back. Oh, JJ, he's such a good player. Oh, JJ's gone from 20th on the board now to Commanders at 2 just because he said that. No, he doesn't even want JJ. You know what I mean? So it's all smoke and mirrors, and they've played the masterful game at it at the moment because we still don't know who we're going to pick. Like when we were number 2 a few years back when Ron was in charge at the start, we knew it was Chase Young.
Oh, 100%. But there was never any doubt in that.
We knew from the first week of the off season it was It was Chase Young, so we didn't even.
Well, we called it the Chase Young Bowl against New York.
Yeah, I mean,
everybody knew that was where it was going to go.
Number 2
and I think
two.
Sometimes it's a problem when you have a overall consensus number 1 overall pick, like a Trevor Lawrence, like a Joe Burrow who came through. Then you think to yourself, oh geez, this is not what we need right now. But Caleb Williams has been the consensus overall pick, but there's not a squeak has come out of Redskins Park, Commanders Park, whatever you want to call it these days. And that's brilliant. We right now have absolutely no idea. I'm going to go to bed as soon as this podcast's finished and I've uploaded it. And then I'm going to get my head down for a few hours, wake up again and go, right, I don't care who we pick. We'll go from there. Yam has asked if this is I sent this one to the Burgundy Zone guys. Since when did being a prototypical quarterback become a detriment?
Well,
very true. I mean,
for me, it hasn't. It hasn't become a detriment. I think that's a prototypical. You are the prototype. You are the guy that people should be aiming to emulate themselves on. That's what a prototype's about, isn't it? You make one of them, and there should be, the best things in sliced bread. That's the idea behind the prototype, isn't it? He's got something different that nobody else has got, and that's the whole point of them. And then we think of that of like big, strong, muscular fellas. You know what I mean? Like 6'4", or like Superman. All that type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you think when you think of prototypical quarterback. You think 6'4", you think 220, maybe 230. That build. And the difference is though is that years ago, these guys didn't really run that much. The prototype guys. You know what I mean? But they could take the hits and stand in the pocket.
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays, like May's got a bit of both. He can run, man. He's not Jayden Daniels, but he can run. And I think it's that's a deadly combination if you get it right with him. 100%. That's why I think the sky's the limit for that dude if he's coached right. Really do.
Yeah, Scott G says blame that 2-point conversion we could have had. Burrow. Remember, mates, shoulda, woulda, coulda. Don't ever do shoulda, woulda, couldas. It's the last word of a fool. But there you go. What will be, mate. It's que sera and all that stuff. Richard Cameron, so refreshing to have a proper and professional front office team in place. I cannot agree more with you there. But yeah, Valiant, shout out to you for being in the chat with us. Appreciate it. But yeah, I mean, that's it now, Scouts. We're here. We're on draft day. We're a few hours away. We're going to wrap it up now, I think, to be honest with you. I need to go and get my head down and have a sleep for a few hours. And then it's going to be sitting with cans of Red Bull and coffee galore, a bag of sports mixture or something like that, and just see who we... Have you got some wings, have you?
Yeah.
Top man. And then just see where we go. For
Are we going live?
Valiant, we're not going live tonight, mate. If you want a live reaction to myself and probably Scouse and maybe Andy Burrows, not sure, the Bleeding Burgundy podcast will most likely be live straight after our pick. So go and give them a watch on YouTube. We'll probably all congregate in and around there. We normally during the season do a bit of a mashup at the end of each game to have a 10-minute whinge. But yeah, if you want to be involved on that, that's cool. We'll be on there. We'll be getting up around 1 o'clock. So, flight at 5 a.m. That sucks, Cameron. You're going to miss the end of the draft. So, no worries, mate. All right. Everyone, thank you for being in the chat. We appreciate you being on with us. Rod, Richards, Valiant, Cam McDonald, Scott G, Deluxe, Yam Starch, Andy Burrows, the Podfather Kyle himself, Tony Shivers in with us, Ian Lockhart in with us, everybody who's been in the chat. If I've missed anyone out, I apologize, but we really appreciate you being on here. The most ever liked video on our YouTube, the most watched video on our YouTube. So honestly, guys, it's amazing what giving away a free hat does for you. If you haven't already, like and subscribe to the show. Please leave a comment after. We'll get that sorted for you.
Oh, don't forget Brian. We got Brian as well.
Brian's in here, always in here as well, and I apologise for Brian. Rod, thanks always for being with us as well. We didn't rig the drawing board, so shout out to Tony Shivers. Thank you. Well done for winning, and also Ian Lockhart for winning as well. David, Glasgow Skins, shout out to you as well for being with us. And for those who are also watching. So thanks, everyone. New era in town. Raise hail. Let's go for it, Scouse, and we'll see who we come out with.
Bring it on, boys. Just bring it on. And fuck JJ.
I can't believe you just said that, Scouse. That is a shocker, but there you go. All right, everyone. We'll see you soon.
me to turn it off.